Hello gamers, welcome back to the channel. Over on my Twitch channel, we do a lot of variety streaming. However, I haven't been doing a whole lot of that here on the channel. Mostly I've been doing shooters. I moved over from the MMO space to shooters about 2 years ago, and I enjoy them a great deal. But sometimes there just isn't enough going on in the shooting world, so you have to revert to playing some other types of games. So I was very thankful and still very thankful that the developers for a game called Die by the Blade allowed me to have a key and either to review the game. However, as everybody knows, that my reviews are unbiased in any opinion, no matter whether they give me a key or not. So today I'm going to cover Die by the Blade and tell you if I think you should pick it up or not. But before we get into that, I would like to welcome you all back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you very much for stopping in, and I hope you hit the subscription button and hit the bell notification to know when I put up a new video, as my videos are rather sparse at the moment. If you did hit that subscription button, I want to thank you very much because you are now one of the 1,077 people that are on the channel helping us to spread the word, and you being here helps with discoverability. I can't thank you enough for helping out the channel or for being interested in my content. The game we're looking at today, Die by the Blade, is a Tekken-style 3D combat weapon fighting game of some sort. However, calling it a fully finished game would be a disservice to all my viewers because there are some serious issues with this game that I would like to take up as a Keith Lee food review to tell them why it's currently in the status it's in. And by status, I mean dead on arrival. When you look at the numbers that are going on for this game right now, you have to ask yourself, why did it happen? Especially since the game as a product is actually up and running and working and not being sold as early access. And personally, even though it does only have a $20 price tag, the game should have launched into early access and the team given time to cook with it. There are a lot of things about the game that actually look fantastic. The menus themselves, while not amazing, they certainly work and they're certainly complete and they certainly do their job. But the environments that you fight in are especially well done, but you can also tell that the environments aren't a focus in any form because you stay locked onto the characters as you're starting to fight in the arenas. The real problem comes with this game and its clunky and awkward mechanics that are used through the fighting, in which there's way too many opportunities to just cheeseball the fight using a singular move. But trying to use anything to try and learn the moves inside of the actual training grounds is damn near to impossible because the signature to be able to read what's going on doesn't have any tracking and was very tricky to be able to pull off the moves. Some of them I couldn't even figure out. I really wish this was interactive in some form. If it is, it's because I didn't manage to complete the moves, which makes it even worse. But I think the really big issue as to why the game has extremely low numbers currently is that the actual advertising and marketing for this game was very slim to none. Those of us who got to see the video that they did put out, I believe there's 2 videos that are put out, really got excited to see this game come into blossom. And then it released and the game was showing exactly as they showed in the video, but it just didn't feel good at all. The good points to the game are that you do have an unlocked progress and you are able to get additional weapon skins inside of the game through just being able to play the game. However, it became very quickly apparent that the grind to get anything inside of this game is really difficult, as the numbers are, if you lose, it's the same amount no matter what your participation is. Otherwise, you have to win. Winning is everything for progression inside of this game, and the bots, without question, can just absolutely trash you. Now, the reason why I mentioned the bots is because I sat for 15 minutes trying to get a game inside the multiplayer space, and that just absolutely wasn't going to happen. When you do get certain combos off within your fighting, though, it's extremely satisfying, especially when you watch your opponent go down with a single strike. You just feel ultimately powerful when you do it. So the artistic vision that they had in mind for being a one strike or being a blade fighting type game definitely comes off as appropriate in the space. It's very well done. It's just surrounded by so many other clunky things that detract from it. There's a very clear lock-on between the two characters within the fighting space, despite the fact that you're able to roll back and forwards and side to side in either to continue the fight. But even when you roll side to side, the camera stays locked on between the two. So really your positioning of your feet is how you determine on whether you're going to block or be able to attack within that space, which is a very neat concept if it wasn't so clunky and often left the other side completely unable to defend against it, because being able to switch stances was so difficult within the animation space. Now, I'm certainly not a professional player of video games of any type, so I'm certainly not the person to break down and say from a competitive standpoint what this would actually feel like for people who can actually perform the moves inside of the game. But in my experience, every time I tried to perform a move, there was some very distinct input lag between the actual commands that you were doing and it going off. It's highly suggested that you play the game on a controller, and I agree with that because I tried it on mouse and keyboard and then a controller, and the controller is definitely the way to go because mouse and keyboard, it becomes even more convoluted. And while it sounds like I'm absolutely trashing this game, the reality is that it is a finished product. I just wish it was implemented better. And none of us really wish these titles would fail. We constantly tell people that we want their titles to be successful and that we provide these feedbacks so that they understand what it looks like from our perspective as a consumer. Just because we're content creators doesn't mean we don't play these games for fun. And you sap the fun out of the game when your mechanics feel as bad as they do inside of Die by the Blade. It's really something that the developers need to actually work on and fix immediately if they have the ability to patch the game, because it's on Steam. It desperately needs a patch, and it desperately needed more time to cook. They need to reconsider if they're able to pull the game back and put it into early access, because this needs a lot of information and love from a community that wants this type of game in either for it to be successful at all. But the biggest issue that you're going to run into as a direct message to the developers is, how are you going to convince people that they want to play this over a game like Mortal Kombat? People are not tired of Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter just had some recent releases too, and these are beloved games within the space. And this is what you're competing with, is gaining some people from that space, or at least joining in that space. It just honestly feels like nobody did any market research to find out if a want for this kind of game was there, or if they just made something because they felt like making it. If the decision was made to actually make this game just because they felt like making it, there should have been more of a drive to push the community effort and either to create a niche for the game. At least then you would have a player base that would be able to take advantage of the multiplayer options. I really hope the devs get a chance to see my video, and the reason why I state that is because I don't believe the game is a lost cause. There is bones here and something that can actually be made into a very exciting game. It just requires some very large quality of life changes and some work on the coding that's available in the game to how the actual game plays and feels, because it feels really sluggish. Optimization was pretty good throughout the game. I didn't really have any large dips, but there were a few moments where the game actually would lag, and they need to work on their timing, specifically in matches when it goes to start, as the HUD elements and the versus screen starts to pull away. It's not fully away before the actual match starts, and sometimes it can be a bit distracting, and obviously in a one-hit kill environment, it leads to you getting your head cut off. Overall, if you ask me if I would suggest the game, I would say in its current state, no. Which is a shame, because I was in fact given a key for this game and I really wanted to give it a decent review. But my review has to reflect the truth, and the truth is the game is just not ready, and it needs those quality of life items before the game becomes solid for a $20 price tag, although price is very subjective to a lot of people. I'm very sorry that it took so long to get this video out, but life just gets in the way, and for someone who's working a full-time job and has a family, it becomes very difficult sometimes to get videos out. It's not a lack of dedication more than it's a complete dedication to my family and my life. Maybe someday we'll actually make it to the point where I am doing this full-time for you guys, but until that day comes, thank you for your support, even though I have very limited time to get things out for you. Your dedication in being here is what drives me to continue doing it, and I appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.